So yesterday I was on Twitter and I saw how a guy from Pakistan was actually able to get himself an RTX 3060, and I would also like to point out that this has actually happened before with the 3060 Ti, where someone from Portugal was able to buy this card before its actual release date, and I have talked about it at the time, but obviously right now it's no longer relevant. But what is perhaps important is that this guy was already able to get his hands on the RTX 3060, and I'm not sure if he actually managed to snag more than one, but that's besides the point, because the actual release date is technically going to be February 25th if the rumors are indeed true, because NVIDIA, I'm pretty sure they haven't said anything publicly yet. But you might also want to know how much this card has actually been sold for, and to that I can say about $750 US, and you probably are pretty shocked to hear that, but I'm also here to tell you that you probably shouldn't be, and that's just because I've previously made videos telling you that NVIDIA is not going to be launching a 3060 Founders Edition card this time around, just like they've done with the 3060 Ti, 3070, 3080 and 3090. These cards did get a Founders Edition version. This one won't. Instead, they are actually giving the AABs the chance to sell their cards, and I guess wow, NVIDIA, congrats for that. And the MSRP for the RTX 3060 is about $329 US, or 329 euros if you are from Europe. Now, obviously, these cards are most probably never gonna sell for $329 US this year, maybe 2 years in the future, maybe next year, I don't really know, but I certainly expected that the base price for this GPU is actually going to be about $400 US or 400 euros if you're lucky, but I would also expect it to actually start at about $429 US or euros, because we've already seen some pictures of that in the past. Now, I obviously won't go into detail again why these things are happening, because I've talked about it previously, so if you want to get more information on it, then just make sure you check out the links in the video description or in the info cards above. Now, I would like to take the time to tell you that the 5000G Pro series is actually going to come to market at some point, and obviously we have already seen the 5000 mobile CPUs, and those have been pretty exciting for the latest laptops which have already released, and obviously I talked about them quite a lot. And right now I would just like to tell you that we have seen some engineering samples for some 5000G Pro CPUs, or APUs, I should probably call them at the moment, but we don't really know if these have been the 5700 or the 5750G Pro APUs. But given that we have seen that it has 8 cores and 16 threads, it might be either one of those. Now, in terms of specs, I can tell you that we have seen it has a base clock frequency of 3 GHz with an all-core boost of 4.05 GHz and a single core boost of 4.75 GHz, which with some appropriate cooling might actually be something which you might be able to do with an all-core boost. Maybe 4.6 would be something better, but it really depends. Now, I would really like to know what you guys think of this, and if you would be interested in buying yourself one of those APUs, because I most certainly would be, and that's just because I could see the potential this APU might have in a small form factor PC, or in a local server which you might have, or a media PC. There are a lot of use cases for such a good APU, and we've already seen how well the 4000 series has performed previously. Now, of course, you might also be interested, but knowing my audience at the moment, this might be the smaller case in Intel CPUs, because these are also, well, they are also going to be bringing quite a few CPUs this year around. And right now I would just like to talk about their 10 nanometer Alder Core CPUs, because we have already seen another engineering sample being benchmarked, but this time around with Geekbench version 4, which is quite erroneous at the moment, so I wouldn't recommend trusting these results. So there you go. I'm gonna give you about 3 seconds to get your hands on a really big salt shaker. and I guess those have been 3 seconds. I didn't really have the time to count, but either way, we're going to see the one CPU from them having 16 cores and 24 threads, and that's just because of the design that these CPUs are going to have. So with this CPU in mind, this one is going to have 8 big cores and 8 small cores, and I'm not going to explain how all of this works because I've done this previously. So again, check the links in the video description or just go to the articles which I will be referring to in the video description. Now, I have also seen what the video cards has pretty much done. They have also compared these results with the 10900K in Geekbench 4, and we have seen that in terms of multi-core performance, this upcoming CPU should technically be better than it, albeit not by a whole lot, and in single core it might actually be slower. Now, of course, I pointed out that this was an engineering sample and this is only Geekbench 4 that we're looking at, so the results might be completely erroneous, and I do really think that Intel would at least bring something better to the market rather than something which would be slower than their 10 series processors, because, well, is this 10th actually? Either way, they're 10900K because they're also going, yeah, this would be 10th gen, because they are also going to be bringing Rocket Lake, which is 11th gen this time around, and this should take place really soon. But I still can't wrap my head around why they would be releasing Rocket Lake before they're going to be releasing their Alder Lake CPUs, and that might actually happen sometime in September. Like, if you have any clue why they would be doing such a thing, then let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're interested in more things concerning Rocket Lake and Alder Lake, then again, check out some of my previous videos. Because right now, I would like to tell you, and this might actually be the title of this video, I can't remember exactly, but the RTX 3060 Ti and RTX 3070 cards, and I'm not talking about all of them, but much rather some from Inno3D, are actually going to go away. And obviously not all of their cards, just some of their models, and I will be showing them on screen right now. And honestly, that really bugs me. I don't really like what's going on at the moment, because we're also getting the RTX 2060 and the GTX 1050, because these cards are finally making a comeback. I don't know who would necessarily be happy about these cards coming back instead of getting some actual stock for the RTX 30 series cards, but I guess that this is the world we live in. And this might actually also be the world we live in where Cyberpunk has been pawned, and I'm talking about the company Projekt Red, because the source code, sadly, for Cyberpunk is now up for sale, or, you know, if you want to bid for it, you can actually buy that, and I don't really think this is exactly something you should wish for a company, as much as, I don't know, you might have laughed or might have not enjoyed your experience with Cyberpunk or Cyberbug, depending on how you prefer to call it at the moment. Now, sadly, the source code for Gwent has already been leaked, and I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it. I don't think that this is something which we should be happy about or laugh at, although I have to admit that at first, when I saw their message, I believe yesterday or 2 days ago, I kind of giggled because of the whole message that the person who started the whole ransomware left them, but the situation is really crappy, to say the least. Now, of course, we can only hope that the situation is somehow going to get better, and we can also hope, but this is not just a hope, this is actually what is going to happen. This video is going to end, and you could probably go and watch some other videos which I have done if you happen to have enjoyed this one, because I still have a lot of things to do, and I might actually be doing something really interesting for you guys who want to know more about the RTX 30 series of laptops. Who knows, maybe next week, in 2 weeks, something like that, I might have something really interesting for you. So consider that a sneak peek. Either way, thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.